Hey guys, so I just got done reading the Laramie project. It hands down has been my favorite play so far, probably because it was based on a real event that took place in the past. The most interesting thing about the play to me was how the Laramie project 10 years later, in which the people stopped considering Matthew Shepard incident to be a hate crime. They started coming up with all these other reasons, which might have been the reason, for example, a drug deal gone bad, etc. It was strange to see some people being so vocal about their terrible beliefs against homosexuality. It kind of made me cringe, even though I was just reading it. I always thought the more modern you get, the more people get open minded, but I can see that the more modern, the more they were growing, they were trying to forget the incident and trying to cover it up more than learning from it. The first obvious value that I would like to talk about is hatred. There were two kinds of hatred that I noticed. First was particularly towards a person, and secondly to the whole homosexual thing. For example, I was completely shocked to hear the Reverend say that he hoped when Matthew was tied, he got some time to reflect about where he went wrong with his sexuality, which was completely shocking to me. It was almost like the Reverend was saying that he deserved it. The second value that I would like to talk about is sympathy and forgiveness. It melted my heart to read the speech that Matthew's father gave. He ruled against death penalty. It was so inspiring when Judy says that taking another son's life wouldn't bring justice to my own son. So I feel like these values are what make the whole play itself, and uh, it gives an idea that good things can result out of pure evil. The word arraignment was used multiple times in the play. I wasn't really familiar with the criminal justice system in US, due to which I didn't know the word. But after some research, I found out that it's the process that takes place before a trial, in which the defendant is made aware of all the charges against him. It's also when the defendant pleads guilty, not guilty, or no context. Laramie in the starting of the play is depicted as a beautiful place that could be described as a heaven on earth. People like Rebecca Hilliker and Greg Periotti describe Laramie as an amazing place to be living in. It's also been spotted that in many areas, the Laramie has a policy of live and let live. There's a whole section on it, and Sergeant Hing says it too. Laramie does not want to be described through one bad incident. In Laramie is tolerating what other people think about it, but is not being able to accept it. The community is desperately trying to change views about Laramie. I do think they the same thing would have happened in Columbus too, because hey, it's just everywhere. I like the way the play plays itself. Firstly, the Laramie project is a three-act play. It goes from the interview, then what happened to Matthew, and then the medical updates, then to the trial, and then to the funeral. I like the way it flows. The Laramie project also has many characters compared to Intimate Apparel. There were no main characters as such in Laramie project. Even though there was a lot of debate about this, I would really like to know your perspective. Do you think that it was just a normal crime, or was it a hate crime what happened to Matthew? And secondly, I would want to ask you, if you were in Matthew's parents' place, would you rather see the perpetrator die or just let him off the hook?